course, it's in the 1880s now. Looking across there. Yep. 72nd. And one of my favorite views, I should have put the modern version of this in. This view, I get more grief from Gary than any other. Oh, and I don't have the modern view, but one day when we were young, I posed on the rock as the little girl. This is 503. The original C.J. Tyson image of 503 is Rock Creek. And he replaced the Rock Creek view with a view of a girl on a rock in the Valley of Death. And the girl, I have other photographs of her. It is Beulah Tipton. That's William Tipton's daughter. So, now, strange things have happened while we've been going through this process. One day, John Richter brought his C.J. Tyson collection over, and I think it might have happened at the Reliance Mine Saloon. And we were looking through them, and one of us, I don't remember, Fraz or I, looked at this image and said, wait a minute, what is this? And it was a variant of another number we had known. And I forget exactly what the other number was off the top of my head, but this was not even, this is a warehouse on Stratton Street, near where the fire department now is. And I don't have a good version of it from John, but all of a sudden, there was a new view of the town of Gettysburg from 1867, but it was printed on the same number as another view we had already known about. So every once in a while, we do see new views from these Tyson stereos. And John didn't know that he had anything unique or different, because he had never seen the other C.J. Tyson view with that same number. And unless you get all these together in some kind of organization, how are people going to know that they have something rare or not have something rare? So again, I have this massive spreadsheet I'm compiling that one day when I die, someone else will make into a book. Okay. Maybe I'll make it into a book if I make it that long. But it's a fun project to put together all these photographs and variants with little thumbnails of which each one is. I guess I could convince some of my friends to let me use their images and produce a nice book with all these images in it. But again, 501 to 580 is a lot more than 80 views. So here's 502, and I thought that this was C.J. Tyson 502. And over the years I figured out, wait a minute, I thought there was another 502 and I thought it was a variant. No, that is a 502 original, and this is a Tipton, like 1880s replacement of 502. So now I'm confused. And of course, you know, there's some really nice views here from 1867 of the granite boulders of Devil's Den. And according to the accounts of visitors early on after the battle, you could see where bullets had hit the rocks of Devil's Den, and the bullet wasn't there, but the trace of the bullet was still there, and white lines from the lead were running down the side of the rock where bullets had hit because of the oxidation of the lead in the rain. Can you see the white stripes coming off of the bullets in these early views? Cool. Of course, rocks, and more rocks. This is often called the Confederate sharpshooter rock down from the entrenchments of Culp Hill and the Confederate lines. Now, you know, again, I mentioned this early on, but the Park Service not having a real grasp on the available photographs of the battlefield and what is a original C.J. Tyson and what is a 1863 Tyson and what is an 1880s replacement has really hindered some of their efforts to understand the battlefield over the years. Gary Edelman and I were hired by the park. Of course, it didn't work like that exactly. We were hired through a company who was hired by a company who was hired by the park to collect the images for the Visitor Center Museum. And I'll never forget, this is the image they chose to put on the wall in the little round area when you walk in between the lobby and the museum. And this is the view they wanted. We don't even have the original negative for this view. The best we have for this view is a picture, about 2.5 by 3 inches. And I was supposed to take a half of a stereo card and scan it at 3800 DPI and blow it up into a mural that was 40 feet long and 20 feet high? What are they thinking? Do they understand? So we had a meeting one day where I had to go in and say, okay, you chose this view for this spot. We can't use that view for this spot, and this is why. Because you got out of a book. And the original isn't available. So I talked them into changing this, what happened? To the Tyson Brothers view, which we have a print from the original negative. And that's the same, I guess, one of those rocks, the same rock with the girl sitting on, over here. But this is looking across little and big round top. I think they took the panorama and kind of pasted them together. So when you go in there, in the little round room between the lobby and the museum, I always like to look at that wall with that nice Tyson Brothers photograph on it and know that I was responsible for that nice photograph instead of the crappy one they wanted to use. All because I know something about the Tyson Brothers photographs. Oh, there's one more I wanted to show, isn't it? Oh, so of the series that we're talking about, 501 through 580, I think there's like 7 of them, maybe I'm wrong, maybe 5, that I have not discovered the location of. 3 of them are along Willoughby's Run. But I'm here to tell you, that rock he's sitting on does not exist anymore. Or it got covered up by dirt. I cannot find that rock. And there's 3 views that were recorded around that rock. So I need to find that rock, or I'm not going to find these 3 views. And I've walked up and down Willoughby's Run.
The bridge?
Yeah. Well, you're welcome to search. You guys are welcome to search. But the golf course did an untold amount of damage to the bait of Willoughby's Run during their time period. So there's still views that you can find. Now, I do have my database of 501 to 580 here with examples of some of them in a book that I like to use. So if anybody has any specific questions, you're welcome to come up and look at my book. Oh, one other thing is that when Tipton and Myers took over the Tyson Brothers photographic business, they started to record views, Tipton and Myers. And so what did they do? 581, 582, 583, 584, and you got up to something like 618. And then they stopped, and then they started again at like 700. But so there is a 581 through like 618. And you can buy examples of them and find them. But they are not Tyson's. They are Tipton and Myers, and then later reprinted by CGA, the Tipton, and they have replacements and variants also. One of them is like the statue of General John Fulton Reynolds in the Soldiers National Cemetery. It was placed in 1872 and dedicated, I think 1872, dedicated then. So one of them's like the summer house in the cemetery, and a lot of more cemetery views. Okay, well, does anybody have any questions about the stuff we just talked about?
I do have a question.
Or in terms of first.
Myers,
Robert Myers.
Robert Myers. Is Penrose Myers a relation?
I think all the Myers are related there in the county. Boy, I don't know Penrose's relation to him. I have to think about it. I know that Robert Myers is Sally Myers' first cousin. I do not know about Penrose. I'm sure they are.
I mean,
but there's a lot of Myers in the town north of that.
Going into the souvenir business.
I'll let you know. I'll look into it. Oh, back here.
Well, does the clients, the customers, understand this series?
Oh, I doubt it.
So it's odd that you use the same numbers.
Oh, well, I think using the same numbers was a matter of they were in boxes organized under that number. So you want to use that number because when somebody buys one and they're like, I'd like another one of these photographs, it's really pretty. Okay, let me see the number on it. Okay. Because after a time, you know, keep in mind, they don't just have these stereo negatives. They have, they have a ton of negatives. You might know that Tipton stuff was either given to the Historical Society or it was given to the park, and now it's at the National Archives. But that's just battlefield views. Imagine all the views he has of the people who lived in the town. And let's say your grandmother had their photograph taken at Tipton's gallery, and you have, if you know the negative number, you go in there, and he must have some way to find his negative and reproduce it. Let's say you have a child, a teenager, and he dies, and you want to get images of him from a year ago that were recorded at the studio, you can order that.
Well, my question is the replacement.
Why did he put the replacements?
Why do you give them new numbers?
Why did he just give them new numbers? I do not know.